It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Wednesday, the 8th of May. I'm Michael Groff. Temperatures pretty close to seasonal averages once again today. Some afternoon breezes at times. Same story for tomorrow. And really about the same thing on Friday, but we will start to see a warming trend as we head into the weekend and early next week. Now, there is just a little bit of forecast uncertainty that we're going to contend with here as we go through the next several days and even out to a week or so. But generally speaking, the story remains the same. Dry conditions and a gradual up-ramp in those afternoon high temperatures. Let's talk about it. Here's the almanac from yesterday. 92 degrees was the afternoon high, 63 the morning low. That's more or less in line with where we ought to be for this time of year. Averages at 91 and 67. And 108 degrees, that record high from the very hot year that was 1989. As we take a look outside right now at 6:50 a.m., we've got sunny sky, 70 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew point 27. Humidity 20%, a light wind in the barometer 29.73 inches and rising. Upper level weather pattern, kind of interesting. We've got this low pressure area across the Dakotas that is beginning to retrograde back into parts of Montana and Wyoming. And a piece of this energy, as we've been talking about for a while, will continue to sag back toward the south and west across the Rockies and the Intermountain West, eventually taking up a position perhaps as far south and west as Utah, maybe even southern Nevada, northwest Arizona by later this week. Now, the ramifications for us on our weather will be that temperatures should hold pretty close to normal with some breezy conditions at times, and there might be a few showers and thunderstorms across the northern part of the state. And we'll talk about that more as we get to modeling here in a moment. The watch warning map, red flag warnings still exist across parts of New Mexico, West Texas, some of the adjacent areas. And yes, yesterday we saw plenty of snow and blowing snow over parts of Montana. With that low pressure area up there, it's very cool for this time of year. And yeah, you can still get that in the Rockies. Snow can still occur in the month of May. Now, we also have a severe thunderstorm watch ongoing over parts of Missouri. We've got flood watches in sections of Tennessee and Kentucky. And here's the convective outlook for today. How about a moderate risk of severe storms? And that is level 4 out of 5. Severe weather, again, a big possibility today from around Cape Girardeau, Missouri, over toward Paducah, Kentucky, Clarksville, Nashville, Tennessee, and that moderate risk. The enhanced risk, level 3 out of 5, from Texarkana to Little Rock, St. Louis, all the way over into parts of Indiana and the Ohio Valley. And in those zones, of course, all modes of severe weather will be possible, and that includes large hail, damaging straight-line winds, and yes, a few violent long-track tornadoes a possibility. So do keep that in mind as you go through the day today in those areas. This outlook runs through 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. All right, here's the precipitation outlook, and this runs through Wednesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, not much. There might, just might, be a shower or two up across the far northern part of the state that puts down a couple hundredths of an inch of rain, maybe even a tenth of an inch of rain. But by and large, we're going to stay dry. And again, there's some wrinkles in the forecast that we'll talk about right now as we get to the models and take a look at things. This is the GFS. It's the 06Z run, and this is valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Low pressure across the northern plains. Part of it is backing its way into the central and northern Rockies and continues to sag to the south and west. And you see the heights here across Arizona just a little bit below average. But with a dry northwesterly flow and plenty of sun, what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today, we'll see high temperatures still topping out into the upper 80s and low 90s, which is near normal. For tonight, we'll have clear sky with lows in the mid-50s in the cool spots, mid-60s in the urban core, and then tomorrow, it's basically the same story. Sunny, breezy in the afternoon, high temperatures, upper 80s, low 90s. And you see this area of low pressure, it's still kind of just backing off a little bit to the south and west. And so we could see some showers and storms across parts of Utah and Colorado and some of the adjacent states. And a stray shower or storm may well be possible either tomorrow or perhaps on Friday across the far northern part of the state and over toward the Four Corners region and obviously our surrounding states here. But for us, no. Sunny sky, high temperatures, somewhere in the low 90s likely. And again, with some afternoon breeziness, a possibility. As we go into the weekend, we see evidence of ridging building in back across the southwest and that low scooting off to the east. Showers and storms for parts of New Mexico, Colorado, West Texas. We're dry. High temperatures should be back toward the mid, maybe upper 90s. Same story Sunday. But one thing that has begun to emerge in recent model runs is an increase in moisture across parts of the state by the time we get to Sunday and Monday. And as this happens, we'll see a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm develop across the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona. Unfortunately, the setup just doesn't favor any storms getting into the lower deserts, and we probably won't notice anything other than maybe a high cloud or two passing by, and a slight increase in humidity, but even that probably won't be noticeable to us here. High temperatures will still be very warm, though. Again, upper 90s to near 100 degrees. And that slight chance of a shower or storm for the northern part of the state, thanks to low pressure sitting to the west of us. As we go to Tuesday, it's basically the same story. Highs mid-90s to about 100 here in Phoenix, with dry conditions continuing for us. And the model spread starts to grow. We get to sort of a crossroads in the models as we go out to a week from today. This is Wednesday, the 15th. We've got troughing sitting to the north and east of us across the Rockies. We've got ridging along the west coast and a dry northwesterly flow. And in that setup, temperatures would still be pretty close to the century mark. Dry conditions for us. What happens after this is kind of anybody's guess. There are some, and I would say less than half, probably about 30% of our model guidance shows some type of low pressure that starts to develop here over the southwest as we go to the middle and latter part of next week. Others, like this run of the GFS, show this scenario. And that's not a scenario we want to see. You got the old 594 ridge that is poking to the north. And in fact, upper heights here off of the GFS are shown to be around 588 decameters. If that happens to verify, got news for you, folks. It's going to get toasty. High temperatures would be anywhere from about 102 to 105 for the lower deserts. We would be very dry. And so we could be in, I wouldn't say quite toward record heat, but we'd be just a few degrees, a couple of degrees shy of record high temperatures if this comes to fruition. The more than likely scenario is heights may not come up that much, but I still believe we'll be dry. Even if low pressure is the end result next week, even if we go down kind of the minority of the model trends here, we would still be dry, just temperatures would be lower. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix out through the 22nd of May. This is coming off of the GFS ensemble. And you see there's a little bit more than a handful of members that try to introduce some precipitation here. And they do so as we get out just a few days down the road. I'm telling you, I'm not buying into this. Again, this is mostly a GFS ensemble thing. And again, there's 4, 5, 7, about 10 of the 31 members, about 33%, 30 to 33% of the members that try to bring in some precipitation. And even if that happens, it would be light, but I just don't see that occurring regardless. But again, hey, that's what we do here. We watch model trends. I suppose anything's on the table. That's why we always keep watching, right, folks? I mean, it's because it's May. It has rained in May before, but it just doesn't look all that likely. But hey, there's nothing wrong with being optimistic. What is the old saying is, dreaming is free. All right, the European ensemble says, forget your dreams. It pretty much dashes your hopes right there. No chance of precipitation off of that ensemble. And how about temperatures off of the national blend of models? The trend is up, and by next week, highs around 100 degrees, give or take, maybe more give than take. And overnight lows mostly in the 70s, and the long, hot summer would be very much underway at that point. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, and of course you do, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube, make those monetary contributions, or you can donate directly to me via PayPal. And that is done by sending your donation via PayPal to Groff Show. That's GROFF Show at gmail.com. That's groffshow at gmail.com on PayPal. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation, and the proprietor of, there it is, sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. So check her out and her videos that are linked up down in the description. Also, our streaming station available 24/7, 365. It is called KMGX. What do we do there? We play a ton of music. We have a lot of fun with that. That, too, my friends, is also linked up in the description. All right. Thank you so much for watching. All of your continued support. So greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and you guys have yourselves an absolutely marvelous rest of your Wednesday.